Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome back to our QPR Career Mode starting season number 3. And start with a bang, we got a lot to do today. I can't guarantee how much gameplay there is going to be, but there's a lot of stuff to do in regards to the start of the season. We've got transfers in, we've got transfers out, we've got free agents, we've got players to talk about position-wise, we've got to scout some people for certain positions. There is a lot to get done. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to start Ethan Pratt on his other development plan. I kind of made a small boo-boo in at the end of last season. There was plenty of time where I could have made this change and then started this next development growth. And I didn't because I was a bit of a fool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put him on... Oh, I don't know actually. I think I'm going to go ahead and go inverted purely because it gets the pace, the sprint and acceleration up. We want him to be a quick boy, so we'll get that on him. I'd love to do defensive, but I don't want him to be like great acceleration, but not a high sprint speed. So we're going to get that done. That's the first thing to do. First thing of many. The second thing to do is look at our objective, youth development. We've got to, within 2 seasons, have at least one player from the youth academy come up and play at least 50% of the games. That's going to be somewhat difficult, but we do have this season to try and get a player up. Could it be Ethan Pratt? I don't think I promoted him just yet, so Ethan Pratt could be the player that we try and really get up in the ranking and then maybe push him in. But 50%, that's a lot of games for somebody who's going to be like 60 rated, 70 rated in the Prem. It's going to be a tough one. Brand exposure. Signed 2 players from North America. Now, I'm not overly thrilled about this. There are some options we have, though. It could end up being that we look at the free agent pool, sign a couple of players, loan them out with the option of being like, oh, we're going to bring these players through a little bit and get them out on loans. But if they end up being a bit naff, then obviously we'll just sell them on in a season or 2. But it's a frustrating one because it's spending money on like a region-specific pointless signing, if you ask me. Continental, obviously we're not in the continental stuff. Finish mid-table and try and get to round of 16. Pretty much the same as what we had last time. Low priority though, which is interesting. And then financially, gain £103.2 million from shirt sales. That's going to be massively boosted if we make signings. So that's the next thing to look at. So we may have found our next Lopez. Santiago Figuera looks like an absolute beast. 76 to 86 as his base defending stat, which means he's probably going to be low 80s. I'm guessing he's going to be 81 maybe rated, possibly 82 depending on his physicality stat, which I haven't actually looked at. But he looks like an absolute unit, potentially around high 70 sprint speed and high, like mid 70s on the acceleration. The guy looks like an absolute boss. 88 to 98 strength. Good stamina as well. For me, this is an absolute no-brainer. So we're going to sign Santiago Figuera. I'm going to say it wrong every time. And he's going to come in and potentially partner up with Lopez. And our back two, going to be looking good. Slight stinker. He hasn't told me his wages. He hasn't told me what he wants. I'm thinking £20,000 is what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking like 150 as a signing on. I really don't want to mess this up. I really do not want to mess this up. I'm going to try it. 20,000, 150 signing on bonus. Reasonable offer. I could have spent a little bit too much there. I didn't want to run the risk of waiting for us to get the scout report and then be picked up by someone else because he looks fantastic. But our first signing is made and it is Figuera and he's going to come in and hopefully be an absolute unit. Let's find out. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. 81 rated. I think that is fantastic. 20 grand a week. 81 rated at 18. I think that's very, very good. And he's going to go straight into our starting squad. Rob Dickey, for me, is going to be pushed onto the bench. And that does mean for me as well that Jimmy Dunn most likely is going to get sold off. One thing to bear in mind, 2 left-footed centre-backs. Interesting. One big position I think we need to look at is the goalkeeper position. I think Jan Sommer is going to have to be moved on. Not because he's not good, but he's now well into his 30s. And I think because of how EA do things, his rating is just absolutely going to plummet. And I think someone like Dean Henderson, who's not a first-choice keeper, but at a big club, could be a fantastic pickup. I am also going to have a look at some other teams. I am also going to look abroad and see if we can find anyone that will potentially come in. But for me, Dean Henderson at the moment is the running man I'd like for goalkeeper, but he is more than our entire budget. So that in itself is going to be a problem. There are 2 very good youth players potentially here. Adam Jones looks like it could be a good shout. The only issue is he's probably going to be around 70 rated. Similar to Serrano, that's not good enough. That's not high enough rated for the Prem. It just isn't. But even just not looking at goalkeepers, we've got plenty of other players I'm looking at here. Nathan Ferguson is a free agent, can play left and right back. Great potential rotation option. Keira is a free agent as a centre back, but can also play right back. So he could potentially come in as a good right back. And he is a free agent. We've got DeVernay, Good looking player to come through potentially. Good defending stats as well. But again, a centre-back. A lot of other decent centre-backs, but I've deleted a few of them. Hamza Chowdhury, free agent CDM. We've got Eusebio Leon, potentially as an option. We've got Oki, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Mathias Norman could be a really good pickup. I reckon we could get him for less than his market value, and he could come in and be a real solid CDM for us. Or we could try and play him at centre mid. Don't forget, we do need a centre mid to come in and replace Johansson. Amos and Masengo, although they're lower rated, are two players I'd like to try and stick with because I think their ratings will go up, scale with the team, and they'll be real good players. And it will potentially be that if come January that hasn't worked out, we need to bring somebody in to replace one of those two, that's when we'll do it. But I think for now, get somebody in to replace Johansson and have them work with Amos and Masengo. I think that's the way forward. I think that's the way it's going to work for us. And Norman could be that player. Declan Rice, a little bit too expensive. Basuma, with a couple of sales and maybe a cheeky approach, could be somebody we try and bring in. But we need some sales, and that would be a lot of our money. I don't think we could bring in Basuma and, for example, a keeper, similar to Henderson. I think that'd be a little bit too much. Yearwood has become a free agent. We've got Nati, we've got Escobar, we've got Blundeu, we've got Grabner, we've got Hornick, who has gone off, sadly, to Leverkusen. So actually, I will delete Hornick off my list. I will no longer be going for Hornick. We've also got Alzate, who could be a good option for us and pretty cheap. We've got Mwapu, who actually I think we could pick up relatively cheap. I mean, 79 rated, 25 years old, and we're going to be able to pick him up for probably around or just under 20 million. I think he could be a fantastic shout. We've got Tom Davies. Not a bad shout either. Brekalo, potentially. That was more looking at centre forward or sort of striker position more than anything else. Or, of course, if we were looking for a wide forward and moving Campbell to the striker position, who knows? We also had Blas. He would come in kind of either being that sort of wide forward or playing in that central mid position, and to kind of add a cam to the sort of midfield we've got. I quite like the balance we have of having three forwards, three sort of solid midfielders, and then the defence. I quite like that personally. Goncalo Ramos, somebody we were looking at in the first season, but was too expensive and was at Liverpool, so we couldn't get him loaned in or sign him because he just signed. But I think it's maybe slightly a bit more than we were hoping to spend. We've got Vavra here on a free agent. Could be a good little player as well. We've got Broja, who's currently at Chelsea. We've got Xerxes, who has moved to Man City, but cheap, low rated. Could be an option. We've got Jonas Wind. He's still at Bayern, but is on his last 12 months. And could be somebody we bring in very cheap. I reckon we could pick him up for about 9 million. So he could be an option for us. Tillman, great young player, but maybe more of a rotation than a starting striker. As I said, I would like to bring in a rotation as well if I could, but that's looking like it's going to be difficult with the amount of money we don't have. Nemecha could be a great first-team striker option, as could Broby, as could Adeyemi. I think Adeyemi's a little bit done, though, like, you know, in regards to a lot of people sign Adeyemi. I'm not saying he's a dumb player. He's an incredible player, but a lot of people buy Adeyemi in career modes. And I'd like to have an element of uniqueness to ours. We've got Lundgren, who is actually, I believe, the Ibra regen. He could be a hell of a pickup for us. We've got Xiao Jorge, could be a great pickup as well. Tammy Abraham, being linked with a move back to England in real life. Obviously not a link to QPR in real life, but a little bit more expensive than I was hoping he would be. Louis Barry could be a good option as a rotation down the line. Liam Delap could be great, but he's on a lot of wages. He's on 40 grand a week for a rotation player. Geldhart could be, again, an okay option for a rotation, potentially. Hlojek, I would absolutely love to sign Hlojek. I love him in this game. We could convert him so he could play left forward, right forward, and striker. He could do all three if we wanted him to, but Hlojek for me would be personally my preference of striker. I just think he would be sick to bring in. Nunez could be an option, but a bit expensive. Troy Parrott actually linked to QPR in real life right now, but again, he'd be nothing more than rotation. Polat could be an option as a free agent. I can't remember his stats, but I think he looked okay, and again, he would probably be a rotation. Mambimbi could be an option, again, probably rotation, as is Moreno. Awinoi, I'm probably saying that wrong, could be an option for us. I'm not too sure about how much he would go up for us, but could be somebody we look at bringing in. Hop we were looking at in the first season. And then finishing it off, we have Bernardi. So we've got plenty of options. I'm going to get a lot of these free agents and stuff scouted, but I think a lot of it is going to depend on who goes, because we need money to make these signings. We have got £30 million. That is it. That's all the money we have, which is plenty of money, but not for a team looking to sign 3 or more first-team players in the Prem. That's basically no money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start simming forward. Obviously, the friendlies, I will be quick simming, but I'll show you guys the results and stuff like that. But outside of that, I think it's a matter of we need to make sales. So I'll keep you guys in the loop of any sales and then if we go for any purchases. Okay, our first game in the preseason is going to be up against Hertha Berlin. You can see the lineup at the moment with the squad that we have. This is probably our first team. This is probably our first team squad. Johansson is one player I'd love to replace. You guys know I am the biggest fan of Ozzy Kakai. He is one of my favourite players and he's just such a nice guy. But he would probably now be moved to the bench. He would probably now be a rotation player for us. And a right back would be somebody I'd love to bring in. But let's sim into this first game, see how we do for the first game. And it's a 3-1 win. It's a lovely brace there for Isaac. And Trossard does come on. Obviously, it's listed, but Trossard does come on and gets himself a goal as well. Game number 2 is up against Stade Rennais. A little bit of rotation. Dickie's coming in. El Basir, Ahmed, a couple of the youngsters. Trossard's going to get some minutes. I've had a couple of offers for a few players. Nothing that's gone through fully yet. So obviously I'll keep you guys up to date with that. But game number 2, we'll go into it. Stade Rennais, and it's going to be a 2-1 win. Trossard scores again, and Tyrese Campbell gets his goals on the way. Trossard getting a couple of goals. I mean, it's good for me because hopefully that's bumps his rating and everything up, bumps his market value up. But yeah, it's maybe a little bit worrying that he's now starting to score goals, but he scores goals in The Sims. He doesn't score goals for me, so it's very different. Last game of the group, and I'm fairly sure we are through the group. So what we're going to do is, again, a little bit of rotation. Linden's going to start. We've got Willock in this time. El Basir's back in. Hamer, Dickie. A little bit of rotation up against Torino. I've signed Orsic, by the way. That's a very, very good signing. We don't need to win it, but we do. Trossard again, 3-3 for the guy, and Willock scores as well. We've had a few more transfer offers in. I think there's going to be a couple of confirmations coming up soon, so hopefully I've got some emails for you coming up. Okay, so we did get a little bit of money, obviously, for going through the cup there. But we had an offer for Campbell that I've said no to. Is Boubakary Samare, who's a very, very good player. I think he's 82 rated and about 24. But they offered him and 12.9 million for Tyrese. Tyrese is worth 55 as a base value. That's not my asking prices. That's the base market value. So I've said no to it anyway because at the moment I think we give Campbell the benefit of the doubt. And most of the comments kind of agreed with me on that one. So that's the plan there. You can see, though, Johan Barbe has gone. £2.5 million is what he went for in the end to Royal Antwerp over in Belgium. We get 1.8 million of that. Barbe, mate, it's been a pleasure. We have got a couple of players whose scout reports have come back. Nathan Ferguson, only 73, so it's going to be a no from me because it's not really much of an upgrade on Aussie anyway. Drew Yearwood, 69 rated. I was thinking he was going to be mid-70s, so I was a little bit wrong on that one. So Drew Yearwood is also a no. Hamza Chowdhury, only 76. I was a little bit surprised by this. I was expecting him to be 79 is what I had in my head. And if he was, I was going to pick him up because realistically, he's then the same rating as Norman. Or what's his name? I forgot the guy's name. The guy at Norwich. I've completely forgot his name. I don't think it's Norman. But I was going to obviously pick him up, but he's lower rated. It's not much of an improvement on Johansson. So I'm going to say no to Hamza Chowdhury as well. Okay, I'm just very quickly going to show you guys this. I got offered Veltman and like £1 million for Sommer. So I went in. This is from Brighton, by the way. I went in to say no to that and asked for just 11 mil, which is the like top of what I can supposedly ask for. And they've offered me Mikel Antonio. I just thought it was funny. I just wanted to show you guys that. So Declan Rice is off the table. He joined Bayern Munich. I mean, I don't think we were going to sign him anyway, but now we literally can't. In the semi-finals of the pre-season tournament up against Bayer Leverkusen, they've got a fantastic team. They've just got a really, really nice... I love Bayer Leverkusen's squad in career modes. They always end up being really, really good, and they end up competing in a lot of different levels. But we're going to play against them with a pretty rotated squad, a couple of players missing, and we end up still winning. Tyrese Campbell with a goal, and Isaac Coles gets his early goal as well. Fantastic. We're in the final of pre-season. I didn't see that coming when I saw us against Leverkusen, I won't lie to you. Okay, a sale that I didn't really expect to make. I don't think he was transfer listed, but I saw the offer come in and I really thought about it and I think it just made sense. Ilias Chair has gone and he's gone to Benfica as well. The team itself kind of felt like it made sense. We signed Willock from Benfica. Adel Tarabt, agent Adel, is over there as well. And it just kind of felt right. It kind of felt like the right kind of move. 12.5 mil wasn't a bad offer. They offered me 10. I asked for 13. They offered me 12.5. I accepted it. 9.5 is what we get from it. That's good money. I think that's really good money for a player that was rotation for us. So, not the end of the world. I think we've done okay there. Okay, so you can see we are currently in contract talks with the one and only Enoch Mwapu. Now, I've offered a bit of a cheeky offer. I know they wanted Sommer, so I added Jan Sommer to the deal. 16, I think it was 16.7 million plus Jan Sommer, who's worth 8 million. and we're going in for Mwapu right now. I'm going to offer him 45 grand a week and 250,000. I'm hoping that's not a massive undercut. I know he's on 61, but I'm hoping he comes down a little bit. You know what? He wants a bit of a goal. I'm going to remove the goal bonus. £430,000. I think he's going to bump the wages up to 50. It's 48.5. I know it's just behind me, so I'm just keeping you guys up interact with it. 48.5 grand a week. £430,000 signing on bonus. I'm here for it. I'm all about it. Mwapu, mate. Welcome to QPR. I think that is an incredible signing. The epitome of a box-to-box. Fits perfectly into the midfield. Comes in as a perfect replacement for Stefan. And that right there, I think, ticks a lot of boxes. The only box it unticks is a first-team keeper. So I think that has to be our second priority. But welcome, Mwapu. 2 great signings through the door. And I'm chuffed already. Let's get signing number 3 sorted. And yes, it's going to have to be a goalie. Okay, I have a couple of keepers being scouted. Obviously, it doesn't help us short term because it means we don't have a goalie for the next game above Serrano. But Serrano's going to stick with it. Serrano's going to be our man in between the sticks. I still think we need a forward. So it's going to be a tricky one because we need a striker. We need a keeper. The keeper's the main priority. Right now, we don't have a keeper above 72. So that's a problem. The keepers I'm scouting, though, I'm not going to hear back from probably until after this game, so it might be that we lose pre-season, but I think it'll be worth it when we get the scouts back on some of the keepers we want to see. Okay, here we go. I'm going with what is our strongest starting 11 currently as the team sits, and that is obviously a tired Lopez, Serrano in net, Trossard staying in, so we'll just throw this team in, see how they do. I'm not expecting a win considering some of the tired legs, and we don't win. It's 2-0. It is what it is. We got to the final. I'm happy about that. But we do need the keeper. That's my next priority. And hopefully, of the options we have, we could be able to get a pretty good player on our hands. Just confirmation, Stefan McKenna has been loaned out. He's gone to Gaziantep in Turkey, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. So he's gone out on loan, just so we all know. Okay, you can see Lyndon Dykes has gone 8.4 total from Torino. 6.5 is what we get of it. So Lyndon off to Italy. And that money is hopefully going to push and just about allow us to be able to make a keeper and a striker, or a keeper and someone. I cannot express how important the keeper is right now. Interesting. Masengo been approached by PSG. No, thank you. And a big boy offer for Tyrese Campbell from Bayern. Also, no, thank you. Now, I can hear people being mad that I just said no to such a big offer. Didn't even see what I could have got for Campbell. But I just think with the amount of stick we gave him, me especially in last season, and then he started to pick up form, the least I can do is give the man the benefit of the doubt and see how he does for this season. It's the least I can do. What I'm also going to do as a heads up is I'm going to send a scout over to Mexico for 3 months and see if we find anyone decent, and that will help us hopefully with our 2 North American signings, I hope. Okay, so you can see the short list of keepers I've gone with. Bearing in mind, I currently have £38 million total in the club. So, first of all, we have Kobel, I say it wrong all the time, from Borussia Dortmund, 83 rated, 75 years old. That's not what I meant. 70, where did that come from? 25 years old. Looking at around 35 million to bring him in. Then we've got Lafont, a ultimate team nightmare, but 24 years old and 82 rated. Could potentially be a cheeky little pickup for us. Probably going to be able to pick him up for around 20 to 25 mil. So he could actually save us, you know, about 10 mil on someone like Kobel, and only 1 less rated and a year younger has the potential to overtake him in not too long a period of time. Ramsdale was somebody I was scouting. I think he is a bit too low rated for what we're trying to build upon now. Obviously, it would be a real stinker to drop from Sommer, who was 85, all the way down to a 78. Dropping to 82 or 83 is going to be a stinker enough as it is, but I think it's better than dropping all the way down to below 80. So sadly, Aaron Ramsdale, my personal England #1, going to drop out and miss out for us. Nick Pope was an option potentially, a little bit cheaper because of his age, 83 rated as well. And then obviously we had Dean Henderson, who is by far the most expensive. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm fully sold by Lafont. Only 1 less rated, a little bit younger, but considerably cheaper. Lafont's who I'm going to go for. I'll let you guys know how it goes. Okay, we're going straight in with a cheeky offer. We're going straight in with 18 million. A little bit below the expected value. There's a sell on in there, 5%. It's a no from me. Okay, 18 was a tad low, so we're going to go in on 20. I think, again, we can try and bring them down. He's got a year in his contract to have his estimated values that cheap, and £20 million does it. They asked for 24 and a bit, plus others. We offered 20 with no extras, and Lafont's potentially on his way in. Let's get that contract sorted. This could be fantastic. Okay, so I've got it all the way down to his wages. He's asked me for 31.5 and 290 grand signing on. He wanted a clean sheet bonus, which I have got rid of. And you know what? You know what? Let's remove that bonus and then let's just straight up submit it. Straight up submit it. 31.5, 290,000 pounds signing on. And there it is. Lafont in the team. The 6'5" beast has joined QPR, and I'm very happy with that. Some very good signings we made so far. Plus, it being that cheap, we still have some money in the kitty. We've signed Mwapu, Lafont, and Figuera, and we can still sign more. We have still got some money. I'm really happy with these signings. I think we've done really well with the tight funds that we've had. Okay, so we've made some decent profit. We're sat with £18 million still in the kitty, which is fantastic, by the way. Going to have a little look and see how the t-shirt signings are at. We're nearly at 40%. We're doing good. We're bringing in exciting players, and hopefully some young aspiring goalkeepers out there will want to buy some QPR Lafont shirts. We'll find out. But £18 million, what I'm going to do, our next priority, I think personally, backup striker. Tyrese Campbell, I think, is going to be our main man. Naji, I think he's got potential, but he's not the levels of a backup striker that we need for the Prem. Going to bring in a backup striker, looking at low 70 ratings. And then, if Trossard sells, we replace Trossard. That, I think, is the way we're going to do this. This team right now, I'm super happy with. I think this team looks fantastic. Okay, so the player I've decided to go in for is Felix Bimby. I'm terrible with names. I don't know why you lot keep suggesting players, so I can't say the blooming names of. Can we sign some Smiths, please? Because I'm terrible with names. But Bimby was suggested to me quite a while ago, and at the time we didn't really have the funds or the way to bring him in sensibly. But actually, I think this guy's a perfect super sub. Very quick. Good agility, great balance, and I think he's somebody who could come in and just do a last-minute job for us with a bit of pace, add a little bit of another option up there. I think Bimby's going to be a great one, and he's valued at something like, I think, 7 million was his like release clause, and it was 5.6 to like 7.2 or something was his value. I can't remember off the top of my head. We've gone for 4, so hopefully the wages are quite cheap, and then we've had a pretty good signing on our hands, pretty good steal. Okay, 22.5 and £220,000 is what I'm going to offer him as a contract and signing bonus. He wants 25.5. We'll take it. 25.5 grand a week for a good rotation striker. I'm here for it. I'm really excited with that. I think Bimby's going to be a fantastic bring-in. And boys, that at the moment is our 4. But I have thought of a 5th. And it's one that I'm not looking forward to trying to make. Okay, I think the time has come that I do genuinely need to consider the fact that Ozzy is going to have to drop to the bench. You guys know I love Ozzy Kakai, but I think it's time. I think it's the final spot in the team that maybe looks like it needs an upgrade. And it sucks, but I'm going to look at a right back. And that's the last thing we're going to do for the episode, because I think we've been very productive today. Okay, so I've shortlisted a good bunch of players here. Firstly, we have Julian Arrougeo, who currently I can't scout, which is a real shame. He's American, has good potential, and from the Liga NOS. So he would tick the North American thing that we need to potentially do, but at the moment I can't scout him. We've got Brandon Williams, who is currently got less than 12 months on his contract. Could be an option for us, would be a great player to bring in. It also has that in-game face, which is, I think, quite a nice little bonus. You've also got Neco Williams. I think that's also his in-game face. Could be a good little pickup for us, not that expensive. Tino Livramento, very good player, had a fantastic season. Obviously, sadly, has just suffered a recent injury, so speedy recovery to him, but could be a good player for us. Ben Johnson, I'm kind of scouting out of curiosity. 4.6 mil release clause. Surprised me a little bit. I know he has a low starting rating. I'm curious as to where he's at right now, a couple of seasons in. So decided to scout him too. Jeremy Frimpong has just joined Arsenal, which is a shame. I didn't know that when I first scouted him. I knew he was at Arsenal. Didn't know he'd only just joined. But I'll see what his rating is anyway. And then we've gone back to Ngakia. Ngakia was the same rating as Ozzy last season. He's gone up by 3 this season. So could be a good player for us to bring in. Will be gold rated, 75 plus, very soon. Could be a good option. I'm going to try and get all of these scouted before our first game of the season. We're not going to play any matches today. We're not a million miles away from our first game of the season. I don't think I'm going to get the report in by Leeds. What I'll do is I'll sim to Leeds. If we have the scout report, great. If not, we'll look at it for the next episode. One very quick thing, Murad Ahmed has gone out on a year loan to Bournemouth. I think this is a great move for him. Really happy to see him go out and get some game time. Hopefully we'll get into the team at Bournemouth every now and again. But Murad Ahmed is a very good young promising player for us, and I really hope he does get some minutes because I think he's got a good potential ahead of him. But Murad Ahmed at Bournemouth for the season. Well, we didn't get to see the final report on our right backs, but I think in the next episode we'll get that report and we can potentially make that signing. I'm so happy with where this team is looking at right now. This team now, compared to where we were at the end of the season, I think it's miles better. I really, really do. I think it's obvious that Lafont is a downgrade on Sommer's rating, but I hope that you guys would agree that I think it was a signing that we needed to do. Lafont's at 36 years old, I believe now, so his rating was going to start plummeting at some point. And to bring in somebody 10 years younger and only a couple of ratings lower, I think just makes sense. Again, let me know. I'll finish the screen on the list of potential right backs. Let me know who you guys would look to pick up on the players on that screen right there. The ones behind my camera you can't see are Frimpong and Ngakia. Frimpong is unlikely purely because, obviously, he's only just joined at Arsenal. But let me know who you guys would go for, and let me know if you enjoyed today's video. And the way to do that is by leaving a comment down below and smacking that like button. Lets me know you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you're new, hit that sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload. If you want to catch us on our live streams, it's Hursty Games over on Twitch. But for now, I want to say a massive thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you very soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. In a bit, guys.
His name
See you
is
soon.
Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat, we'll say hello. Entertained, yeah, you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty Games, yeah, you already know. Hursty Games gonna hurt for days. I'll burst into flames. I'll enter the maze, enter and tame. I'm gonna make it rain. He's kicking and he's taking names. The one streamer who will never bore me. QPR, Eze to glory. Career on the mode, reading a story. Heaven, not hell, no purgatory. Hursty Games, now his name is Thomas. No tank engine, yeah, I promise. His streams are bomb. Tomic with his bald head, Wallace and Gromit. Hursty Games, burst into flames, enter and tame, enter the maze, gonna make it rain. He's kicking, he's taking names. Hursty Games, Yo, say it's cheap. Subscribe to Hursty Games.